to another 31 Days of Horror 2014 update. This, unfortunately, will be the last 31 Days of Horror 2014 update because today is Halloween and the final day of the 31 Days of Horror Marathon, where I do 31, or try to watch 31 horror films that I have never seen in 31 days of October. I have managed to get to my 31 days, and this is actually past that. But on with what we're all here to see. You see, today being Halloween, there was much trick-or-treating to be had, and the kids, they managed to get plenty of booty. Yes, I don't usually get to say that word unless I'm dressed like a pirate. So I'm going to say booty. Because, well, candies like booty. I don't know how. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And you know what? This eye patch is driving me nuts. Alright. So, the story behind this film is, I watched it with the lovely Lesley, but she is not here. She is at home, and we watched it at her place. She had mentioned this film, or a film, I don't think she knew the name of it necessarily, that she had wanted to watch, but because of the cover, she wasn't too sure if she wanted to watch it alone. Like many people, she has a slight little phobia of clowns. Not, you know, I have friends who are like, they will not go near the clowns. Whether they're scary or not, they will not go in. She's not like that, no. But just because there's a possibility she might have been uber scared, she decided, nope, not going to do it. And I said, alright. The film was on Netflix. Now, honestly, until I met Lesley, I knew of Netflix, but I'd never ever used it. Never watched anything on it, never browsed it, none of that stuff. So, you know, took the opportunity, let's watch a movie on Netflix. And that movie was Scary or Die. See, the clown, yes, from 2012. The film is essentially an anthology picture with essentially 5 segments to it, and I guess the wraparound, the wrapper, the thing that joins them together was this zombie girl who is browsing this scaryordie.com website, and on it are all these videos that she's watching. And she does actually, as far as I could tell, make an appearance in all of the shorts, though I will admit I didn't notice her at first. It was Lesley who pointed out, I don't know if it was the second or third segment, that isn't that the girl from the, you know, not necessarily the girl from, you know, the wraparounds, but that she was in, you know, a previous segment. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I didn't notice, but after that point I did. Essentially what makes this anthology outside of that wraparound is the fact that all these stories they essentially take place in and around LA. Go figure, shot in LA, might as well make it that movie set in LA. Being an anthology film, it does have several directors, different directors actually. There is, I think there's 3. Bob Badway. Whether that's his real name or not, it seems weird. Last name Badway? Oh, it's possible, I guess. This is his only screen credit, or anything, other than the film The Uninvited from 2008. So he relatively new. I don't know. There's a Michael Emanuel who directed the segments, one called Clown, the other one called Lover Came Back, and The Crossing. He's mostly done acting, small bit roles here and there, but he did direct the 2009 film Man-Eater. So there is him, and then there is Igor Meglic. Never heard of him. He directed the segment Tajin's Lament. And oddly enough, when I looked him up, he's mostly been a camera operator or a second unit DP. And he's been on lots of different things, you know, World War Z, like big films and stuff. So that he's clearly somebody who's used quite often, you know, Union, in lots of big budget films as well as low budget films. So he got to do one of the segments. The film doesn't star much of anybody that you would know. There's essentially maybe 3 actors in it. One is a guy I'd never heard of named Domiziano Arcangeli. He played the part of the clown in one of these segments, and when I looked him up, he's been in a ton of films, and a ton of genre films. A lot of low-budget stuff that I've never heard of, including The Ghost Maker, Waiting for Dracula, Lizard Boy, Orgy of Blood, Virus X, Frankenstein Rising, Silent Night, Zombie Night, and you know, like I think there was probably a good 20 or so more genre films. I don't know if all of them have even been released or gotten any kind of distribution whatsoever, but I was quite surprised to see, you know, like this guy is really working and not just like the bit parts. He's got major roles in most of these films. Next one up would be Corbin Bleu, who, in terms of genre fare, he's essentially only got Nurse 3D, which is a movie I wanted to check out. I think it's been on the Blu-ray stands. But he's also had little parts in Galaxy Quest and Soldier, you know, the sci-fi movie, and Mystery Men. But, now, I don't know these things. He's also Nathan from the television show Flight 29 Down. And, for all of you kiddies out there, he's Chad Danforth from the High School Musical series. I've never watched them, so I don't know. There's a couple of other people, but one that really stood out to me was Andrew Caldwell. Didn't know the name, looked him up, didn't really see anything until I saw one credit. He voiced Howard Wienerman, I know, great name, eh? In the animated show Randy Cunningham 9th Grade Ninja, which I've been meaning to check out, but I have not yet. I only learned about it this year. So, yeah. Haven't quite checked it out just yet. Trying to think. Yeah, that's about it. I think that was all the people of note. I mean, there was one other person, but whatever. Yes, like I said, it's 5 segments in the movie. The first one's called The Crossing, which is essentially some local yokels, hillbilly types, who tend to patrol the Mexico-U.S. border, picking up anybody they think is an illegal immigrant. I mean, they even seem to be picking them up from town, I guess, and bringing them out to the desert. And essentially, they when they see somebody, they hunt them down. They take them and they kill them, and then they bury them. Leave no trace, right? The twist in this one is that, well, they never thought that those they killed might come back to seek revenge. Yeah, so it's got a little bit of a zombie story going on there. The next one I'd talk about is called Tajin's Lament, and I believe Lesley said this was her favorite of the bunch. And essentially, this one sort of it felt like it was a almost like a Korean insert that was just out of place with the other ones. The actors, the main actor, and the women are all of Asian background and stuff. So it seemed very Korean in terms of feel. And what it is there's a guy who's essentially, he's a lonely widower. He's really having problems coping with the loss of his wife, and he starts essentially seeing his wife in other women, and it's not that you'd almost say he's stalking them, but he doesn't really go too far with it, right? He's lonely, he's following them, and then eventually he notices somebody who's being kidnapped, and he saves the girl. You know, hero saves the day. And you're thinking, oh, okay, this is going to be sort of like a love story and stuff like that. And she invites him over to his place. And so he's like, oh my God, you know, he's figuring he's found love again. And it starts taking a happy turn. But this is a horror movie, remember? So he goes to her place, and wouldn't you know it, Van Helsing crashes the party. And that's all I can say, because you can pretty much figure out the twist on that one from what I've just said. The next segment is called Remembered. And essentially it's the story of I guess you'd call him a dirty cop who takes on the job as a hitman. And he goes out and he kills somebody, and you know, he cuts them all up, dismembers them, throws them in his trunk, and he's going to get rid of the body. And the big twist on this one is he starts, you know, seeing things that seem to indicate that the body in his trunk isn't dead. Bum bum bum. Now remember, I said dismembered. The next one up, and it's probably one of the, you know, it's the cover image, the poster image, the cover image of probably the DVDs, etc. And it's what I think most people who have, you know, critics who have seen this film seem to latch onto. It's a segment called Clowned, and this is the one with, who's in this one? Oh yeah, it was that guy with all the horror credits to his name. Yeah. The main character is named Emmett. I think that's Corbin Bleu is also in this one. He's Emmett, I believe. Could be wrong. But he plays, you know, there's a character of Emmett he's playing, and he's a drug dealer. But you don't look at him as a bad drug dealer. He's not really pushing on people who are really down and out. He seems to be making a decent living for himself doing it. He's only small-time hustler, but, you know, drugs, you know, you make good money off that. And he seems to be supporting, you know, his girlfriend and his family through this. So you don't really look at him as being a bad character. He's even though he's a drug dealer, nothing in this film makes him out to be somebody to hate. And other than the fact that, you know, he's a drug dealer and he's not the most trustworthy, and apparently his family isn't too they don't really feel they can rely on him. He's not a reliable person. And one of the young family members, having a birthday, and you know, he says he'll be there and all that kind of stuff, and he shows up and he's at the birthday party, and wouldn't you know it, there's a clown there. But not just any clown. No, it's Fucko the clown. Yeah, you heard that right. Fucko the clown. Who hires a clown named Fucko for a kid's birthday party? Seriously, who does that? I don't know. But they hired him, and he is, you know, essentially Emmett is asked to pay the clown and send him on his way because his job's done. And when he goes to do that, yeah, the clown is taking his own little payment out of the fridge and stuff, and Emmett's just like, yo, what's going on, dude? And, you know, essentially things lead to things, and he throws the clown out, and he's just like, get the hell out of here, you're crazy, whatever. And then the clown bites him. Like, really bites him. Of course, the clown doesn't look like a normal clown. Well, you saw the poster. And yeah, so of course Emmett, he's a little weirded out by this. He just got bit by a clown, and you can understand that he might think that he might get an infection. But what he clearly, and I'm sure nobody expected, was the fact that he would start getting a taste for human flesh and start transforming. Not quite the infection he thought he would have. But yeah, I won't go into any further because it's not that it's a quick transformation. You can tell what's going on, but I'll leave it at that. And yeah, so then you get that wraparound with this zombie girl who's checking out the website. I think she's a zombie. She looked dead. And now, I wouldn't say any of these segments is particularly bad. They all, you know, if they were student films, I'd say they were great. They were really well done. They showed potential if you're a student. But, you know, like this is obviously something that's done by people who are professionals. Maybe not in that particular role, but they've worked in the business for a while. You're getting professional actors and stuff like that. You're putting together this anthology. But one of my big problems was the anthology didn't really fit together as well as it should have, even though, yeah, I don't know. It seemed like they had some reoccurring actors in multiple segments, which kind of threw me off. I don't know if they were trying to cross over the segments or not. It's just, I'd have to watch it again to really pay attention to that because I wasn't expecting it. So when I started seeing people who I thought were in previous segments, I was really thrown off. But yeah, I think that because of the way it was set up, and because they're all in LA, and because you have this zombie girl who's showing up in multiple things, there could have been more to have these sort of intertwine. And had that happened, it would have been a huge leap up in terms of, you know, when it comes to anthologies. That really, I really like when that happens, and they didn't really do that, or they tried to and it didn't really work. That and the styles of all the different I think there's another, I forgot one of the segments, right, because I'm only counting 4. Lover Came Back. That was one of the segments, and this one really had a real different feel. And essentially, it's a woman who returns from the grave to seek revenge on her cheating husband, and it's all, you know, inspired by voodoo. There's a lot of voodoo going on in that one. So yeah, there's a lot of returning dead. I guess that would be another, you know, similar motif that's in not all of them, but at least 3, I guess. 3 of them have that kind of going on. So yeah, I don't know. You've got zombies. There's a couple of zombie ones. There is some comedy going on. There's a couple of attempts at kind of scary, but these are more, like I said, they really are contained, more like their own short films that really don't have anything to do with each other. And as those, if you watch them as short films, they're not bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. And they are a good stepping stone. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of people seem to latch on to Clown. Clown has, you know, has probably some of the best makeup effects in the whole movie. And I think people latch on to that. I think the atmosphere of Taejung's Lament is probably the best in terms of the look and feel of the movie. I don't know. Like I said, they're all okay. It's not really something I would recommend. I'm pretty sure Lesley was on the same page with me in that regard. But at the same time, you know what? If you're into that thing, if you're into like the creep show movies, Like, if I watched Creepshow now, I probably wouldn't recommend them. You know, if they came out now instead of when they came out. They're anthology type things. They're little short segments. Some of them are very Twilight Zone-y, right? In their aspects, but they're classics, which is why they're acceptable, and they have some big names attached to them, right? And had this been done a long time ago, then yeah, maybe it would be a classic. Maybe people would look at it and go, "Hey, that's awesome." The twists and turns aren't anything spectacular, but I didn't think they were in Creepshow either, or Creepshow 2, or Creepshow 3. And it's often the case with an anthology film. The great anthology films, like a Trick or Treat, those type of films, those stay with us. And there's a reason why Trick or Treat is a go-to film for a lot of fans come Halloween time, and myself included. It is a must-watch. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch it today. I wanted to watch it today. But you know what? Trick-or-treating with the kids comes first. Yar, because you gotta get the booty. But yeah, so Scary or Die is, if you're into anthology films, and you really love anthology films, and you love short films, give it a shot. Check it out. If you're looking for something with a little bit more enjoyment, a little bit more continuity, something that has, gels together a little bit better, maybe more artistry, maybe a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. It seemed a little amateur all around. So if you're looking for a little bit, more highbrow, Scary or Die is not your thing. But if you got nothing else to watch, I'm sure some of those movies from what's-his-face, that actor, probably be a lot worse than this one. So, yeah. Domiziano Arcangeli. Whoever he is. Yeah. So, yeah. Not something I tend to think I'll watch again, even though I probably will watch it at least one more time before I die. I don't know why, but I will. It doesn't mean you have to. So, that's it, guys. That completes the 31 Days of Horror 2014. Hope you enjoyed it. I will have one video after this doing a sort of an entire look back and overview of the entire 31 Days of Horror for 2014. But until next video, guys, take care. And give me your booty. Should have been a pirate movie in this that I watched. Of course, I was the only one dressed as a pirate.